Welcome to my channel. My name is Shantae and I'm going to be painting today. I want to get back to creating for the sake of curiosity. Ever since I started taking my art serious, I take myself a little bit too serious, you know? What I'm realizing is that the root, at the core of what art and creativity is limitless exploration, never arriving at a destination. Okay, I would say I'm about done. New York winters are not for the faint of heart, considering the fact that I have to walk everywhere. It's brutal. It's brutal. Let's go. This place called the Big Reuse. I've been there once before because I'm looking for a used picture frame. I'm looking to spend a low price on a big frame so that I can start hanging artwork in my home. We'll see how it goes. It was a success going to their Big Reuse. I found exactly what I was looking for. When I first walked in, I looked at what I thought was their art wall, and everything was picked through and or sold. So I kind of got a little bit worried, but I ended up finding what I needed at a good price, a good size, and I'm feeling happy about it. Sometimes I have a bit of a pessimistic view when I go places. I'm like, there's no possible way I'm gonna find exactly what I'm looking for. And I did. So I'm in my living room today because I need the space. I need the space for what I'm about to do. I want to get back to creating for the sake of curiosity. Ever since I started taking my art serious, I take myself a little bit too serious now. I used to be so much more experimental in the way I approached art. I would use different mediums and I would explore different ideas. But now I feel like I'm settling a little bit too deeply into one style that I'm losing that sense of wonder and curiosity that's at the core, at the root of what art and creativity is. Just because I really thought that once you found your style, that's kind of where you rested. That was your creative constraint. And while a part of that is true, I want to be more experimental than I am now. I want to create from a place of zero inhibitions. And that seems so foreign of a concept to me, but I used to do it a lot. I used to just sit down to draw, sit down to paint. And I want to get back to creating from a place of no expectations. I think that is so freeing, and that's really where your style is allowed to evolve naturally, organically, without feeling like it's a rush to the finish line. Because I really think creativity is this constant push and pull of pushing your boundaries, but also exploring your comfort zone. I mean, in other words, it's constantly evolving. And I feel like that's the same for my style. And I think that now that I'm at this place where I'm like, okay, now what? I think I need to get back to what I know best. and that's creating from a place with no expectations. I have 6 separate containers, which means that I am looking to do 6 different color variations that I'm gonna go through now and try and create a nice color palette. Today I'm gonna be painting using a painting method that I first discovered when I went to the MoMA. I stumbled across this piece by Helen Frankenthaler, and I just was immediately struck by the technique. It's almost like something I've never seen before, but felt super familiar. And that's because it was like a cross between the technique and essence of watercolor, but in the form of oil paint, a medium that I'm more familiar with. But Helen Frankenthaler would take a paint thinner. I'm gonna be using Gamsol today, and she would dilute oil paint almost to the consistency of watercolor and pour it over unprimed canvas, which is what I'm gonna be doing today. And I just love her work because in abstraction, it's just open to such interpretation, and that's what I want to go for myself. I just want to let the paint soak into the canvas and kind of develop its own story. Obviously, I'm going to do some manipulation of my own, but I'm definitely just allowing the paint to kind of do what it wants. And I love this method because it's using canvas, it's using oil paint, 2 things that I'm very, very familiar with, and sort of turning it into watercolor. So I'm actually gonna start out, I'm only gonna start out with about this much. Okay, she's in there. I just have a separate brush for mixing. So I have some scrap canvas that I'm gonna test out the different paint consistencies on to see if I want it darker, lighter. You get the idea. I'm testing the blue here. More specifically, phthalo blue. I have it all mixed up here, so... Oh. Let's get started. say I'm about done. But when is an abstract piece ever really done? I feel like I could just keep throwing things at it, but then I run the risk of messing it up or whatever that means. But in my mind, for I guess based off of feeling and intuition, this feels done to me. I actually really enjoy the process of kind of just putting paint down. Like, there was really no clear expectation or goal. I just knew that I was feeling it out as I went. But I can't wait to frame it. I have to let it dry first. I can be impatient and put it right on the frame, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait till tomorrow and frame it and hang it. Okay, it's been about 2 days now. It's been 2 days, and it's time for me. I put my hands on my hips because I was watching some of this footage back, and I realized that I gesticulate, I talk with my hands so much that I'm trying to tone it down. Look, as I say tone it down, tone it down. I'm trying to not use my hands so much because it's slightly distracting, but I can't help it when I talk. I just have to like use my hands to bring out what I'm saying. Okay, but it's been 2 days and I'm gonna frame my painting. It's all dry now. It dried a little bit lighter than what I was expecting. It was much darker and much more saturated when I was doing it, but I'm actually very happy with it. And the frame that I got is a little bit smaller than the canvas that I'm using, so I'm gonna play around with what I want to be visible inside the frame, and then I'm gonna hang it up. So let's do it. With this frame that I bought, there's already beautiful artwork in here that I am going to preserve, but I did get this specifically just for the picture frame, and not necessarily the photo that's in it, but I respect it, I respect the artist, and I'm gonna preserve this as best as possible. I think in order to take the back off of this, I need to unscrew these. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes, but let's try it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. It's just taking a little elbow grease. So I'm finally getting around to hanging this piece. I already put the hangers in the wall here, and I'm hanging it up in my kitchen. It looks so good! You can see the full gist.